Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Warriors of Chaos. And from your comments in the last video, I actually saw that you guys really enjoyed the Chaos Army without flying units with no Mancores. So I'm going to keep trying to keep that tradition. And of course, there may be games when I do go back to that, you know, when I'm really trying to squeak out a win. But here I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. So he is playing the Greenskins, who are pretty decent at focusing down heroic units, so Kolek can be a bit of a risk, but, you know, I think he's just so much fun, and his mobility and Lord of the Storm is so cool, so let's continue that tradition and go ahead and get Kolek. So against the Greenskins, Lord of Fire is not going to be bad. Obviously, having the additional fire damage, the armor piercing, and defensive stats from the Cascading Fire Cloak are going to be pretty good. We'll get rid of Fireball as well. I'm not a big fan of Fireball for some reason. Do we want to put him on a Manscore? Nah, we'll keep him on the ground. Keep true to my word. So we're going to get him, keep those abilities, and let's move forward. So we're also going to get some Aspiring Champs. I like these guys in this matchup. Pretty good. They can allow for a lot of weird army compositions, and I also really like Forsaken here. Forsaken just hit like trucks, and they're kind of like really fast biggins in a way. Granted, they're pretty squishy. So, you know, really like this unit. Especially with the Lord of Fire, they can just absolutely dominate. So very cool unit. So he's probably going to bring some Black Orcs, so I have to account for that because Black Orcs are very popular in this matchup. Black Orcs are obviously kind of a Swiss Army knife against Chaos because most Chaos units, I mean, even Forsaken have 75 armor. So armor piercing isn't going to be bad against them either. So we do need to bring some armor piercing Chaos Warriors. So we'll probably just bring a few of those guys, and let's actually mix it up a little bit and bring a single group of Chosen. So that should be pretty fun. So also I do want to bring some Trolls. I really like using Trolls in this particular build. So we can cut one group of those. And then let's see, can we get rid of Foe Seeker here? How much will that give us? Will that give us 1,000? I wanted to get some Chaos Spawn just for fun, but some Warhounds aren't bad. We can probably get some of those, because if he does have Orc Boy Biggins or threats like that, what I like to do is use the Warhounds to kind of just intercept them, break their charge, and then, you know, bring up Kolek or some Trolls to lay the smackdown on them. So let's see here. Chariots, not a big fan of in this matchup, and we have an okay front line. It's actually kind of janky. I probably should cut, let's see here, what do we want to cut? Could get rid of one of these Aspiring Champs, but I like them so much. Let's actually just get rid of one group of Trolls. And we do need a front line. We need some kind of fodder unit, so we'll bring a few of these guys here. And let's see, we'll bring 3 of those. That should be fine. And then let's bring some of these guys, and then we can just pump some chevrons elsewhere. So should be fun, guys. And again, the front line is going to be pretty well supplemented by those Aspiring Champs there. And we're just going to throw some chevrons in here because I'm lazy and don't feel like thinking about it critically. So we do have these guys. We have him. He has his fun abilities. Kolek's ready to party. He does not have the Star Crusher. Not a huge fan of those augmentation type items, you know, where you have to like manually do it. And if you don't, like, sometimes the attack animations are so inconsistent, you know, and sometimes like if you focus something, they'll run in a circle before like hitting it, and you'll have activated it, and it's very frustrating. So personally, I don't like to use those type of items. So, you know, again, I prefer the perpetual augmentations and those type of things. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully the Trolls will pay their dues. I do have a very strong anti-armor presence, so I'm really hoping he doesn't go like mass gobos and I just have all these like clunky armor piercing units that are just getting cut down. So we'll see how it goes. But, you know, maybe he's planning for the Manscore meta, because I think obviously if you're going to optimize your Chaos Army, just spamming Manscores is really good. I mean, having Terror on so many of those darn heroic units is really strong. But the Chosen are obviously very cool. I mean, if you can get them on a group of Black Orcs and, you know, kind of an ideal matchup, you're going to do pretty well for yourself, I would say. So let's see how this goes. Just still waiting for my opponent to load in. So yeah, again, I probably announced it in one of the videos I uploaded, but we are going to do a contest this week, which is going to be pretty fun. So stay tuned, and it will be for a Wood Elves DLC, but you guys got to earn it. It's not going to be a free giveaway, so it's going to be a contest, and you guys stay tuned. So let's get down to business. All right. So we're going to set up our front line here. We're going to get these Chaos Marauders, just put them right here, front and center, looking nice. And of course, behind them, we're going to put the Aspiring Champs. So these guys they're pretty tanky themselves. So, you know, once they get saturated within these troops, and we probably want to have a little separation in case he has some missile troops, then in the back line, we are going to probably just mix these guys up. And I'm tempted to like put my Chosen a little further back, but I'm hoping he won't really notice that they're blended in here and won't, you know, focus fire them. So pretty tight little formation, but I like to keep it that way simply for the Lord of Fire buffs. We'll put the Trolls in the back. Trolls are pretty quick, so definitely a unit that you can scurry around and you know, cover some distance with. So Kolek here, and we do have the Hounds, so maybe we'll put them in a group here and put the Sorcerer kind of with the infantry here. All right, very good. And the Forsaken can go in the wings. I usually like to keep them in the wings so I can, you know, circumvent the flanks or help out with cavalry battles and those type of things. So we're gonna just put them right there, just like that. We got Kolek and his Hounds over here. So I actually played against a guy a little while ago who you know, had a very heavy Chaos Infantry army, and then he just had a ton of Warhounds with Kolek, and it was pretty cool. Like, they were marauding around and actually did a pretty good job running over Cav. So Lord of the Storm is so good. I wish he had just like started the battle with it ready, you know. Having to wait like a minute and a half is kind of a bummer sometimes, but anyways, just complaining here to you guys. So let's go ahead and advance. So he didn't bring any Black Orcs, so I'm a little concerned. He actually brought Savage Orc Biggins, which, man, that's going to be tough for my front line. Then he brought some Broken Tusk Mobs and a Goblin Big Boss, and then an Orc War Boss and some Squigs. So a very unorthodox Greenskin army, which, you know, may or may not do really well against me. It's hard to tell, to be honest, because it's not something you see a lot. So let's go ahead and advance here. And yeah, the Trolls will still do good. I mean, despite all that, they still have 100 weapon strength, so you know, they're going to hit hard. And these Savage Orcs will get cut down pretty hard by the Aspiring Champs and Forsaken. And I mean, Chosen are such good infantry. It doesn't really matter what they're fighting. It's gonna, you know, be pretty bad day for your opponents there. So we're probably gonna kind of keep these guys around here and just kind of pull these guys. And let's actually pull the Trolls as well and put them in group 2 and just kind of posture them over here. Get ready to fight. So as far as our main forces go, we're gonna go here. All right, so far so good. Here. And we're going to pull these guys here and just kind of start, you know, getting a relatively even spread here. So we'll pull these guys here and pull these guys here. So he's got a pretty scary little force here, but where do we want to go? So he has a bunch of Squigs and Orc Boars over here. So let's actually try and break the engagement here. We'll pull the Chosen over and just, you know, have them jump on those guys and pull the Forsaken over here. So Kolek's going to get in there, and you can see the Hounds are probably going to break the charge, which is what we really want. So over here, unfortunately, these guys are going to get a decent charge. So let's pull the Forsaken over here to help out. So Lure of Fire, we're going to use that relatively shortly once we're able to catch up. But you can see he's kind of, you know, getting chased off here a little bit, which is fine. So we're actually just going to pull back here and use the Lure of Fire buffs in the front line. So let's go ahead and use that right here, which will be pretty nice. And over here, the Forsaken are going to get in there pretty good. Kolek, I'm just waiting for Lord of the Storm, and I might actually use that over here, which will be pretty good. So we're going to use that right there on those units. And, you know, he's still kind of just dancing around with those other units. And Lord of the Storm, it hits really hard. You'll see right here, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So very, very happy about that. So we're just going to kind of wait and kind of mirror his movements with this group here, and maybe just charge into them right now and see how it goes. Because I think my infantry are superior. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty good for me. So the Hounds are coming here, and the Hounds look like they're going to be able to wrap up these troops and get that poison, which is really, really good. So they're going to lock them down and break their charge, and then the rest of my units, including the Trolls, are going to do a really, really good job. So over here, things are going okay. Things are going okay over here. This is probably the less desirable of all the matchups here. So we're going to pull these guys over here to help out there. And over here, we're able to get a good engagement here. So the Trolls are going to be really, really strong. So the main thing is just making sure Kolek doesn't get surrounded. So you can see my opponent immediately refocuses him. So let's use the standard ground to give some decent stats. And now that Kolek is saturated within these troops, let's get him on the Orc War Boss. So very, very good. So we have some troops over here. Let's go ahead and pull them, check for routing units elsewhere. And I think we're okay. Things are going relatively well. The Aspiring Champs are holding up. The Chosen are obviously doing very, very well over here, you know, despite the, you know, unfavorable matchup. And the Orc War Boss is going to get punished, relatively speaking, by Kolek. So just keep these troops fighting here. The Trolls are in here doing pretty good for themselves. So let's get the Trolls probably on these Cav here. It's fine. And we do have those cheap units coming in here. So we'll pull those guys back into the flank here and check for the Lure of Fire buffs. And let's go ahead and use the Cascading Fire Cloak over here. Probably is fine. This is a battle I definitely want to win, and it's going pretty well. So let's keep our pressure on the Rusty Airs. We don't want to let those guys get free and just rain down on Kolek and my other units there, because the defensive debilitations are pretty good, and Kolek's laying the smackdown here, and also the Trolls and Forsaken. This is a good matchup because the Orc Boars aren't the, you know, sturdiest unit, so you can see the Aspiring Champs, and we can actually just leave them and then just keep the Chosen fighting here. So my opponent doing a very good job of cycle charging. And obviously there wasn't really any heavily armored choices for my Chosen to fight, so not the best, you know, situation in the world. So let's pull this guy back, use the Arcane Conduit, check in on this battle, make sure we're winning it, and it looks like we're doing pretty good, guys. So we're going to send Kolek after the Orc War Boss and just kind of keep my other units here, and hopefully those Trolls will regenerate and come back from route, which will be really nice. And those Aspiring Champs are doing good as well. So let's go ahead and pull these guys here, and we can just use them to finish off those guys, which is good. So Kolek right now, we do have another Lord of the Storm up, so we probably want to use that right there, which would be nice. Get those Savage Orcs there. And just these Aspiring Champs are able to break those guys, which is great. So the Chosen here, well, this Orc War Boss is in for a mean sandwiching here. So he's with the Chosen, and then my Kolek is coming up hard on him. So so far so good in the front line. It's a pretty savage battle here, to say the least, but I think if Kolek's in good shape, I'll be okay. So we're going to use the Flaming Sword of Ruin there, which should be pretty good. And the Orc War Boss is indeed broken. So Kolek is just such a monster, guys. Definitely a very, very good unit. So right here, we're going to get these guys. And man, I hope those freaking Trolls come back. That would be really nice. So we do have some units that are kind of routed off here for a little while. So let's go ahead and get them back. And getting these Forsaken back online is going to be very, very important. So looks like, looks like these guys recouped their leadership there. So let's go ahead and make sure to finish them off. And we do get the Aspiring Champs in there. If we can finish this Orc War Boss, that's going to be nice. And Kolek's deceivingly fast too. So I've got to pull these guys back. It looks like we did lose that main engagement, so we need to reform ranks here. So we're going to pull everything we can back, try and reform here. And we do have some healthy troops left, which is pretty nice here. So all right, so far so good. So Kolek needs to finish off that War Boss, and these Chosen are in pretty good shape as well. So yeah, oh, we do have this Night Goblin Shaman here, so we want to pull these guys back as well. So let's get him over here. And all right, so far so good, guys. So he does have a little scary force there, but it's pretty low. So I think if we reform ranks here, we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and reform here, just see where we have pockets of strength. And finishing this Night Goblin Shaman is going to be really nice as well. So you can see, unfortunately, the Orc War boss is back. Wasn't able to catch him and finish him off. And these guys are doing pretty good here, but we probably want the Hounds to be on like the squishier, more ranged units here. So let's continue, just make sure to finish off that Shaman while we regroup our main forces. So it looks like he was able to chase me down here, so he does have some squigs and other units here. So we're just probably going to turn and fight and use the Lord of Fire buffs. We'll use the Cascading Fire Cloak, and thankfully these Forsaken are pretty scary. So how's it going against this Night Goblin Shaman? Yeah, I don't feel like I can chase him any longer. I need to get back to business, and we'll put those guys here, and we pull these trolls back, which is great. Getting those trolls back in the fourth quarter is going to be really, really nice, guys. So yeah, nice Lord of the Storm here. It could be potentially, you know, game breaking for my opponent. So we're going to pull in here. It looks like these Chosen have gotten a nice little engagement on that big boss there, which is great. So okay, so maybe we just use the Lord of the Storm here, right as they're coming in here, which will be good, and then we'll run him over here after this. So let's see how this goes. Let's see the timing on this. So it looks like we did make some decent contact, took out a few models, not the best in the world. So the Forsaken are really fast, so we can actually take advantage of their mobility here and just run and then regroup our forces over here, because the Chosen are something that's really, really worth protecting, you know. So let's go ahead and use the melee defense buff here, charge in there, and get a nice little smash there. I kind of messed up the charge a little bit, but again, it's all good, guys. We're still fighting here. So we're just going to keep running back here, just check in. We need to get those trolls back, because the trolls with Kolek are going to be really, really strong. So let's get the trolls over there, charge in here, and we really need to pressure him. And that's what I was talking about, that darn Shaman. Being a troll, I should have gotten him earlier, but I didn't want to like just spend all day chasing him when Kolek could be generating great value against other units. So we're gonna get in here, and the rest of the heirs should meet the end of their days here. So in the main line, the Forsaken were able to get away, and they're pretty quick actually. So let's actually start pursuing here and see if we can get a nice little charge there and just kind of hopefully be able to outmaneuver our opponent. So we're gonna keep going. Kolek's getting back there. He was able to break those guys, which is great. So let's see here, and yeah, everyone's in pretty bad shape. So let's go ahead here and just try and finish off his main kind of pocket of resistance, and let's actually back up just a little bit, see if we can get a nice little charge on those broken tusk mobs. It looks like they're going to get a nice charge on me, unfortunately. So we're going here. We got a nice healthy little goon squad here, and let's get these guys over here as well. And all right, how's it going? So it's going good. We're able to shake those guys at the very least, so let's pull back again. Got to take advantage of that speed every chance you get, and Lord of the Storm is up again. Very, very good situation for me, guys. So let's go ahead and reform our ranks here. So we need to keep everyone high and tight, so I don't want to let him get like a free charge on those guys. So let's see if we can get Kolek over there, get these guys over here. So do we have anything else back here? It does not look like it. So the last pockets of our resistance are kind of over here, so we'll kind of run up and around. And it looks like he did get my sorcerer, so very poor micro on my part, but I was definitely a little excited by the Kolek beatdown that could potentially be coming. So we're going to turn and hit these guys and also get the trolls over here. So let's do that. And you know, one good swing from Kolek, like I said right there, can really just punish these kind of heroic units. So let's pull these guys back here, just finish him. And if he loses this Orc War boss, man, this is a risky play here, coming in here against Kolek like this. Let's go ahead and just use this to see if we can get that lucky swing. Oh man, I mistimed that. Come on, get him, get him, get him. He might get the charge, and if he gets one swing, I'm telling you, this guy could go down. So Kolek's winding up for it. He's winding up, and is he going to catch him? Let's find out. It's the most the climax of this battle here. So yeah, I got to de-group those guys. Sometimes if they're grouped there like that at the end, it can be bad for you. So let's move there and just have Kolek continue to fight this war boss. This is obviously a great matchup for me, and it looks like he's coming back with some other troops. So we're going to use the stand your ground, use these guys to get in there and help, and we'll just kind of position the rest of these troops here. So unfortunately, oh, my shaman, not my shaman, but my sorcerer is okay. Kolek took a little bit of a beating, but he did break this guy, which is good. And this guy, it looks like he's shattered, so we won't have to deal with those shenanigans anymore. And oh, man, those freaking guys back there, the rest of the errors, I'm telling you, they're just trolling me all game. So let's go ahead and just move up and shatter his main army. I think that's probably going to be, you know, a decent situation. I don't feel like chasing those units around all day. And maybe I'll just like send this guy after them. He should be able to just chase them off. The Orc War boss is broken. He's very low, so I don't think, you know, he'll be coming back anytime soon. So let's go ahead and posture up over there. We'll send this guy over here, and you know, he should be able to, you know, take a volley or two before he gets in trouble from the rest of the era. So just keep moving, and yeah, I can't see my opponent, you know, standing up to this. This is going to be tough for him. So here we're just going to get him on those guys, and this is probably a situation in which Fireball would be nice. Hopefully he doesn't break. He is taking HP, and he is shaken. He still does have okay leadership, but once he gets in there, these guys should rout like instantly. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of charge in there, just keep it nice and simple, and Kolek will get a nice Lord of the Storm once they're bunched up. I don't want to try and get them when they're moving again. So looks like he's able to win this engagement over here against the Rusty Errors, it looks like. So Kolek's going to get in here, and yeah, this is going to be tough, especially with the support of these trolls who are pretty darn scary. So these troops did come back, so let's charge them in there and get the full party coming, guys. So Kolek charges in, and we're just gonna run right back here, and we're gonna use the Lord of the Storm right on top of them there, and then we're just gonna charge back in just a moment. So let's turn right back around, get a Lord of the Storm there, which should do some serious damage, then charge in there again, and just kind of keep running laps, because we don't want to sit, obviously. You know, Kolek he's pretty strong himself, but, you know, we don't want to be sitting in there and taking that beating. So, I mean, I could have waited for these other troops, but I just want to kind of make it happen, and let's get these guys in here, turn around and fight there. And these trolls, let's run them back to their support troops over here, and it looks like they were able to shatter over there, so let's bring the sorcerer back here. So the trolls, we want to get back to their friends, and Kolek should be able to finish off those guys there. So let's go ahead and turn and fight here, and very, very good. So we do have some aspiring champs, so when the encouragement gets close by, it should be pretty good. And the chosen are so freaking slow, so let's see if they can run a little bit faster for me, but it doesn't look like they want to. So Kolek was able to break that big boss there, which is nice. So let's go ahead and pull him in here, and this rear charge should be game, set, match for this guy. You know, we do have this nice leadership buff here, and I feel like Kolek, maybe it's just the way I'm clicking, but there you go. Get in there, man. You need to get deep into those guys. So we're gonna pull him out here. We don't want him sitting in a bunch of Savage Orcs, because he isn't the most heavily armored troop, so we have to be careful, and it looks like that is the mass route we were looking for. So obviously a lot of mistakes on my side, but you know, again, it's a learning experience, guys, and it was a very close battle, very well played to my opponent for sure. So, you know, my front line did okay. The aspiring champs, this group got 66 kills. So the Forsaken were good. You can see how their mobility are quite valuable. And, you know, Chosen, even though they weren't beating on some armored target like they usually like to, still got 100 kills, guys. Trolls did okay. I mean, they stayed the course. I mean, they did rout earlier, but, you know, they helped out. So very unorthodox Greenskin army, which was pretty cool to play against. Definitely like seeing some variance there. So really well played to my opponent, and I'm not even going to try and say that, because I'm just going to mangle it horribly and everyone's going to make fun of me. So very well played to you. Look forward to seeing you again on ladder, and stay tuned, guys. We do have the contest coming this week, so we will be doing a DLC giveaway for the Wood Elves DLC that's coming out. And keep in mind, it won't be a free giveaway. There's going to be a contest, so you guys will be competing against one another, so it should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks again for watching, and have an excellent night.